You do not have dignity. The other day, people were crying, they were saying something, people were talking. Senator Akpabio opened his mouth, wow, to say that let them be protesting, let them be shouting, let them be crying. Then they will be in their house, eating and sleeping and enjoying it. That's the Nigerian senator.
Hello guys, you're welcome back to my channel. Now there is this new update concerning the issue of sexual harassment between Godswill Akpabio and Senator Natasha. Guys need to see this new evidence that emerged, and people have actually come out to speak up. Considering this new evidence, they were like, what kind of moral justification that the person, somebody like Akpabio and Yahaya Bello have to start talking when somebody like Senator Natasha they talk? Yes, so they can't talk, they make Senator Godswill Akpabio submit himself for proper investigation. Even Yahaya Bello that have case, EFCC corruption case against him, say they not get right. And if really say Nigeria na country where they work well, somebody like Yahaya Bello and Senator Godswill Akpabio, by now they suppose they behind counter. So my people, you guys will be surprised at more things that is at the table right now. Please watch this.
This is a quick reminder to anybody that cares to know. I want you to know that Yahaya Bello is still moving freely, despite enough evidence of embezzlement and corrupt practices. He's still moving freely without a sentence. I equally want to bring to your notice that the former MD of the NDDC has alleged Akpabio to be involved in a lot of corruptions and shady deals, and he's the Senate President of Nigeria today. I equally want to remind you of the fact that the person that came out at a point in time to say he doesn't believe in one Nigeria is now the president of one Nigeria. I equally want to remind you that the list of the sponsors of terrorism was made available to the past administration, and they are sitting on it, and the present administration is not doing anything about that. I equally want to remind you as well that the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs was alleged to be involved in corruption and shady deals, which resulted to her sacking. So I want to tell you that she was only sacked but not indicted. I also want to remind you that the Boko Haram members have been pardoned by the federal government. But Nnamdi Kanu has been facing terrorism charge for years now, and he's yet to be sentenced, and he's yet to be pardoned as well. I want to remind you as well that farmers in remote villages are still paying tax for them to be able to go to farm. Farmers in the villages are still paying levies to bandits for them to be able to go to farm. I want to remind you as well that according to Amechi, that the problem between Fubara and Wike that gave birth to the state of emergency was nothing but a disagreement over sharing formula of state resources. I want to remind you as well that the people trying to form a new coalition, a new alliance, are nobody but former members of PDP and the APC. I want to remind you as well that El Rufai was one of the major advocates of the Muslim ticket that gave birth to Tinubu. The same El Rufai now is the major advocate of a coalition that will get rid of Tinubu. I want to remind you as well that some of the cleric scholars, the imams, are still preaching the message of fanaticism and hatred. And I also want to remind you that some of the pastors are still preaching the message of fraud, scam, and delusive prosperity. I also want to remind you that the bill to ban open grazing that is associated with a lot of atrocities and a lot of illegalities is still experiencing a setback in the Senate House. I also want to remind you that it's only the Senate President of Nigeria that can send prayers into people's accounts in order for them to enjoy their weekends. I want to remind you as well that some of the general overseers have built schools and universities out of common people money, out of their tithe and their offering that their children cannot attend. I want to remind you too as well that a good number of northerners believes that the Sharia is superior to the Constitution. I want to equally remind you that a lot of celebrities that the common man, we, have made millionaires and billionaires are yet to lend their voice in regards to the atrocities and the bad happenings that is happening in the country at the moment. I want to bring to your notice as well that the soldiers and the security agencies are still complaining of being shortchanged by the system. And nothing is yet to be done about that. I equally want to remind you that slots are still being given to politicians and political office holders in regards to recruitment and a lot of other things. I equally want to remind you as well that you have a voice in the midst of all this, only if you believe. I want to remind you as well in the words of Mahatma Gandhi that said, gently you can shake the wall. But I equally want to remind you that we Nigerians are very good at forgetting things and pursuing mirage. And I also want to bring to your notice as well that a lot will not share this, will not make this go around, and will still keep pursuing the mirage.
Today, in this chamber, there is no any organized sitting arrangement. And you recall that I raised this issue in our leadership meeting once, that it is not in order that senators will just choose where to sit like that. We should organize it. If the former minority leader decides to sit there, Mr. President, he deserves to sit there.
There is no microphone there. There's no microphone there.
Mr. President, let us not take the Panadol for his headache. He chooses to sit there. If he decides now on his own volition to go to where there is a mic and speak, Mr. President, we should oblige him. But let me advise that please, even though we have only 6-7 months to go, let's do what is right.
Senator Akpabio, the point I was saying to you, if you had waited, was that there was no microphone in that place, and you should know. That is why I'm now, as you are now at the point, you're going to carry on.
Mr. President, with due respect, all I expect from this Senate today is a letter of apology. It's an apology to me, not even by way of letter, even verbal apology. I represent a constituency. I know my contribution to Nigeria. If the clerk of the Senate has authorized that I should sit here, and I was so embarrassed here today, we cannot run the Senate on a partisan basis.
Natasha Akpoti has told the Nigerian police that if anything happens to her, they should hold Senator Akpabio, Governor Ododo, and Yahaya Bello, that they are the ones who want to make life miserable for her. This happened after recent attacks around her, or threat to her life recently in her area of Benue of Kogi State. And she has cried foul play because, like she said, that they plan to assassinate her. Of course, they have come out to deny this. This is what I have to say. Natasha Akpoti, you are in your right to seek for your safety. You are in your right to protect yourself. Also seek for protection from the government. And yes, the country is in dire security issues today. So it's very possible that, yes, people can come after you. But you know, we still need sufficient evidence to prove direction is coming from. It doesn't matter who is responsible or not. You have a right to be protected. The people you think are after you may not even be the ones who are after you. Maybe somebody else. But all I'm saying is that Nigerian police, please take this matter serious. We have lost people in this country politically. We have had, convoy attacks here and there. We've lost politicians with power, assassinations here and there in this country. Don't take this for a joke or a play. It's good you investigate it deeply to know people who may be involved and make arrests immediately. We have people who are hiding behind banditry, who are hiding behind Fulani herdsmen to commit crime. They hide behind unknown gunmen to commit crime too. And this is an opportunity for them to also commit crime. Please protect this woman. This woman may not be supporting the ruling party, but she has a role to play in nation building. Nobody knows tomorrow. We need all our leaders intact. We've lost a lot of people, leaders in this country, who stuck their necks for our independence, who stuck their necks to make sure that Nigeria goes forward. Nigeria is crying today because we lost a lot of people who meant well for this country. Perhaps this woman may be a great leader of this Nigerian country. Let us not overlook that. So long as you have people who are in power today, does not mean that people who are not in power are not important.
And there, if they were not all getting there through rigging, do you think it would have been possible or appropriate for a senator to send a fellow senator out of the chamber? Not by the means of suspension now. Suspension is fine, but suspension has a given time. But have you guys listened to Senator Akpabio? See, I don't know if you guys watched the video. I watched a video of an immediate past Senate president. That is the person of Senator Ahmed Lawan in the floor of Senate, advising the Senate president that withdrawing the Senator Natasha's security details is wrong. That it doesn't give her any form of safety or security. That no matter what is going on, and that she is still a senator. So based on that, Senator Lawan was advocating and soliciting that the security details of Senator Natasha be restored to her. Now listen to Akpabio. Akpabio was just talking like almighty Akpabio. If Nigeria was a country, who is Akpabio? You that got into the Senate through the back door by the Supreme Court, you were never involved in your party primary, suspending somebody that was legitimately elected by their people. Now, this was Senator Akpabio said, because I would not want to be boring us with the long videos. Senator Akpabio made references to a senator in the East, although they said it's late. I think he said it was Senator Actor Zeribe. I think that was the name he called. He now make references to when the man said things against the Senate and he was suspended. And after the suspension time, he refused to apologize and never returned to the Senate. So he was hinting at a possibility of Natasha not ever returning to the Senate. And I asked myself, like, seriously? Somebody that was elected, not appointed by Akpabio or the Senate, can be thrown out because she raised an alarm over an improper conduct against her? Nigeria, have we seen where we're putting ourselves? If we have voted these people genuinely to go there and represent us, do you think one man who came by the virtue of a very corrupt judicial system would dare to send our representative home like Akpabio is doing now? Everybody apart from some blind Akpabio supporters know where the facts in this matter lies. Senator Lawan standing to tell Akpabio to restore the Senator Natasha's security details, that she is still a senator, knows what he was saying. For goodness sake, that is the immediate past Senate president. Even though the Senator Lawan and the Senator Akpabio got back to the Senate by miracle, by the Supreme Court magic, but he stood up to say what ought to have been done, and Akpabio responded by Natasha may not return, which means even after the expiration of the 6 months suspension, if she failed to apologize, why do you want the person you've offended or allegedly, or the person that is accusing you of harassing her, why should she come and apologize to you? And if she failed to, I thought they said 6 months suspension. So meaning after the 6 months suspension, you can as well ask her not to come back. And trust me, because we do not decide who get to that place through the vote, the people might be helpless in this case. You can imagine what is going on in Nigeria. Now, Senator Saraki, a former Senate president that we know, who arguably, as we speak now, I can't say is the best Senate president we've had in recent times. Now Nigeria missed him. He said, and I quote, and I'm displaying it now, it's on the news. He said, Saraki advises Akpabio to submit to open investigation. You see there? Somebody has accused you. If you are innocent, what is difficult? Submit yourself to open investigation, not you being a judge in your own case. And Nigerians didn't really see anything wrong with this. The only thing Odalo know is that when injustice like this are going on, and we all keep pretending to be hopeful of a better society, we better go back to our sleep and never wake up. Honestly, this is outright madness. How can you just suggest, well, okay, to even make it worse, the same judiciary that have ridiculed themselves by themselves, the lady Senator Natasha took this matter to court, and there have been a hearing has started. Akpabio was made to be served on the court proceedings document. Do you know that Akpabio refused those things, telling the court that they have their limits? Now, this is supposed, if the court have their limit, under whose authority is the Senate? Natasha felt she's unjustly and wrongfully suspended. Where else was she supposed to go? Is it not the court? Which she went. But Akpabio and his gang and some powers in the high places want the lady Natasha to come and apologize. And we all know what it means when she finally apologized. That means she lied. So, I'm not getting this. Are we having a country or what? So the worst of it all, the citizens, majority of the citizens, dead brains, docile people that think through their anus, sentimental in all areas. If not, in a sane society, Akpabio, I will always keep saying, will not be the Senate president as we speak now, until the fact of this matter is revealed. It is two things. It is either an open investigation is carried out, and by the end of it, we will know if Natasha is lying or she's right. But nobody is even wanting to give that area. Nobody is looking into that direction. They don't even want the lady. They don't even want the lady to say anything further. Just go and apologize. So that at the end of the day, they can turn around to say she lied. If she didn't lie, why would she be apologized? And if I hear that the lady Natasha apologized tomorrow, you won't believe the things I'll be saying against her. Because that obviously means she lied. Then she will have no other choice than to keep apologizing to Nigerians. But until then, let us stop supporting nonsense. Senator Akpabio, submit yourself to open investigation and stop being vindictive. Stop being intimidative. Stop being power drunk.